A man becomes dangerous in the quiet moments when he stops letting impulse run his life and begins gathering his energy instead of scattering it. And the first sign of this shift is a new steadiness that settles into his body and mind like a long-awaited anchor. Semen retention turns that steadiness into a force, because every day of discipline builds a reservoir of vitality beneath the surface, a concentration of instinct and awareness that changes the way he moves, thinks, speaks, and connects. His energy no longer burns out in moments of craving but accumulates like pressure behind a dam, strengthening his presence in ways he does not notice at first. His gaze becomes heavier, not in aggression but in depth, carrying a subtle weight that makes others hold eye contact a little longer than they planned. His voice settles into a firmer rhythm. His thoughts become clearer. His reactions slow just enough to show control rather than panic. All of these changes whisper the same message. The message that he is no longer chasing temptation but shaping himself with purpose. People around him pick up on this transformation before he fully understands it, responding to the invisible tension in his stillness and the quiet certainty in his posture. Because humans are wired to recognize strength even when it is silent. Retention enhances this silence by calming the nervous system, reducing mental noise, and sharpening awareness until the world feels less chaotic and more navigable. He begins to listen more deeply, act more deliberately, and walk with the kind of confidence that does not need to be performed. This confidence becomes attractive not because it tries to be, but because it simply is. An aura of capability in a world full of scattered minds. Semen retention draws that capability out by redirecting sexual energy toward ambition and clarity, giving him a fierce internal momentum that others can sense. His creativity grows stronger because he finally has the mental bandwidth to think beyond momentary pleasure. His focus deepens because he is not pulled apart by craving. His discipline becomes visible in the way he carries himself. And this visibility forms a natural magnetism that feels mysterious to anyone who has never experienced true self-control. People describe it as dangerous charm, the kind born from a man who knows his power and does not waste it. His eyes take on a stillness that suggests he is thinking several layers beneath the obvious. His presence fills a room even when he sits quietly in the corner. His boundaries become firm without being harsh, because he no longer needs validation from anyone. This lack of need pulls others toward him with irresistible force, since nothing is more alluring than someone who desires without desperation. Over time, his charm becomes shadowed, not dark, but deep, the type of allure that comes from inner discipline rather than outer display. He becomes the kind of man people watch without understanding why they're watching. His energy feels charged, yet controlled. His movements intentional, yet relaxed. His silence expressive enough to make noise unnecessary. Semen retention chisels this version of him day after day by teaching him to convert desire into drive, frustration into focus, and instinct into intelligence. His ambitions grow clearer as he stops being distracted by urges that once hijacked his attention. His relationships improve because his presence becomes stronger than his need, allowing him to connect without the frantic hunger that destroys authenticity. His conversations deepen because he listens with real attention. His decisions become more strategic because his mind is sharper and less reactive. Every aspect of his existence grows more defined, more deliberate, and more aligned with who he wants to become. By withholding his energy, he learns how to hold himself, and by holding himself, he becomes someone others gravitate toward. The world responds differently to this version of him because people instinctively admire anyone who radiates inner order. His charm no longer feels like a performance, but like a natural emission of the power he keeps within. As his discipline strengthens, so does his aura, transforming him into a figure who moves through life with quiet intensity. This intensity is what makes him unforgettable. It is what makes people feel something around him even if they cannot explain what they feel. It is what turns self-control into magnetism and turns restraint into raw presence. This is the shadowed charm that grows not from what he gives away but from what he chooses to keep, shaping him into a man whose energy commands attention without ever needing to demand it.